answer. Point of order, Dr Kennedy Graham.
Thank you, sir. I seek leave of the House to move members' notice of motion number 46 in my name on recognition of Palestine without debate.
Is there any objection to that course of action being followed? There is objection. We move to questions for oral answer. Question number 1 in the name of Dr Russel Norman.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister and asks, does he agree with the OECD that, and I quote, when income inequality rises, economic growth falls?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, no, it's not that simple because there are a number of factors that contribute to economic growth.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Dr Russel Norman.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Is the Prime Minister saying that the OECD Secretary-General Enkel Gurria got it wrong when he said yesterday that, and I quote, addressing high and growing inequality is critical to promote strong and sustained growth?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, no, I think that helps, and that's one of the reasons why the government's proud of its record as defined by the OECD, and a table they put out last night that showed that between 2007 and 2011, income inequality has actually narrowed under this government. The great tragedy is they also put out a report last night that showed between 1985 and 2005, when a Labor government was in office for a reasonable period of time, income inequality got worse. Shame on Labor, I say.
Order.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Dr Russel Norman.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Why does the Prime Minister continue to defend a failed right-wing ideology, trickle-down economics, that the OECD has now rejected, when this economic ideology has fuelled the biggest rise in inequality amongst OECD countries and has knocked 10 percentage points off New Zealand's economy?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, that's not right, but all I can say is under a national-led government, income inequality has actually narrowed, as defined by the OECD, between 2007 and 2011. But interestingly enough, Mr Speaker, if the member is quoting the OECD as the oracle of all good information when it comes to growth and issues of inequality, maybe he'd like to follow this comment from the OECD, which they said in 2010 in their report, a growth-orientated tax reform would improve the design of tax regimes by broadening the base and lowering the tax rates of New Zealand.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Dr Russel Norman.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Well, with regard to tax rates, does the Prime Minister believe that when he cut taxes for the top 10% of income earners in the middle of the GFC in 2010, did that reduce inequality?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, as the Treasury noted at the time, and as is proven to be correct, actually the changes to the tax system that were made by the national-led government in 2010 were both distributionally neutral, but actually as time has gone on, it's proven actually higher income taxpayers paid more as a result of those tax changes. That was because the government changed both the rules around depreciation of rental properties, the bulk of whom are owned by better off New Zealanders. That's because even though there was an increase in GST, a large amount of nominal GST, of course, is paid by higher income taxpayers. Mr Speaker, they were very good tax changes, and that's why New Zealanders voted for them in an overwhelming way and why they rejected the Green Party policies and delivered what was, by every definition, a very disappointing result for the Greens.
Order.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Dr Russel Norman.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Will he now revisit his policy of keeping benefits low as, quote, an incentive to work in light of the OECD finding that the resulting inequality is bad for people and bad for the economy?
Right Honourable Prime
Mr.
Minister.
Speaker, inequality is narrowing under a national-led government. I'm proud of that record, as confirmed by the OECD last night in their report, Mr Speaker. Secondly, the government is not keeping benefits low. In fact, this is a government that has legislated to ensure that there are increases in benefits in line with the CPI. Mr Speaker, the most important thing we can do for beneficiaries, where possible for the bulk of them, clearly not all of them, is to find them work. And that's why a strong economy that delivers job opportunities and lifts people out of the welfare trap into work is one of the most beneficial things we can do for low-income families in New Zealand.
That's right. Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Dr. Russel Norman.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Does he accept the finding of the OECD that the increase in inequality in New Zealand, one of the largest increases in the developed world, that increase in inequality resulted in a 10% reduction in the size of the New Zealand economy?
Mr. Speaker,
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Well, I don't accept all elements of the report, but I do say this, that it was a report that took place on statistical data between 1985 and 2005. In the period between 1999 and 2005, if my memory serves me correctly, the then Labor government did that with the support in various forms of the Green Party. And so I say to Russell Norman, yes, he should apologise to New Zealanders for his failure in that time.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, David Seymour.
Would the Prime Minister agree that what the report really found is that growth is driven by the quality of investment in human capital across all income levels? And if so, could he share any initiatives this government is taking to improve the quality of investment in human capital across lower income New Zealanders?
Mr Speaker,
Right Honourable Prime
yes,
Minister.
I would. And I'd say that the OECD actually made a very interesting point when they said redistribution policies that are poorly targeted and do not focus on the most effective tools can lead to a waste of resources and general inefficiencies. Mr Speaker, one of the ways I know to do that when it comes to human capital is to make sure that they get access to a world-class education, and that was the point I was actually going to come to. I myself, with the member, visited Vanguard, saw the great young New Zealanders that are coming out into employment, and I must say how proud I was to be part of a government that's championing those partnership schools that are making a difference to those young New Zealanders.
Supplementary question, Dr. Russel Norman.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Why can't the Prime Minister see this OECD report as an opportunity to move away from failed trickle-down economics towards a form of economic policy which is both good for people and good for the economy and has a win-win solution for poor children and for the broader economy?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, if the member wants to talk about failed policies, he should read the Green Party manifesto, as it was so utterly rejected by New Zealanders. I remember that member parading before the cameras a couple of days before the election, telling New Zealanders that they'd be polling a massive number, basically throwing the Labor Party overboard because they didn't want to be part of them, and in the end they polled 10-odd%. It was a terrible result. Bad policies are the Green Party policies this government's delivering for New Zealanders.
Question number 2, Andrew